I just can't win for losing sometimes. Yeah, all you can do is laugh. Say hi as you pop in. It might take a few minutes because the Wednesdays are new for me for going live on my YouTube, right? So the YouTube knows I go live on Sunday, so they get those notifications out pretty quick. But yeah, so we'll see how fast YouTube is today. But when you pop in, make sure you say hi. I just came in from my walk, right? That we had a bit it's really strange weather today. Really strange weather. It's like we've had snowstorms and then it started raining and then the wind started and then the sun came up and melted everything and then I said, "Oh, how lovely! After my Instagram live, I'll go for a walk, right?" And I put my coat on and I walked out into the middle of another storm, right? And I, oh, I'll take my phone with me, right? And I'll film a little Instagram post because it was really, really pretty. It was really pretty, right? Like I know we're done with winter, but when you're stuck inside, right? You don't mind it so much, right? It's kind of like that idea. Misery likes company, right? So, it's miserable outside, then you don't mind so much staying inside, right? Which is where everybody should be. Yeah, I've seen a few posts today, with little gatherings. So yeah, they you gotta stay away. You gotta stay away, right? We don't want any any more deaths than we possibly can, right? We had another one in Manitoba today, so we're up to 3 deaths now. I know it's not a lot compared to some places, and I'm so sorry to hear about some of these places that really have some difficult times going, and that's not to say that we're not in for ours too, right? But the least you can do is get prepared for it, right? I was saying actually this might be a good time, when you do your Instagram, like pop in when you pop in, make sure you say hi. I'm just gonna put my channel here because I was actually I'm watching Wednesdays. Wednesdays is my day. It's a Wednesdays is a busy day for me because that's when my metal detecting channels they upload their videos, right? And I watch Hoover Boys and I watch Stealth Diggers and I watch Quarter Hoarder, right? And they're my favorite metal detecting channel. And then I have a bottle digging channel that I watch. It's called Archaeology um, uh, archaeology adventure archaeology they call it, yeah. And he's a bottle digger, right? So those are my entertainment channels, right? And then everything else that I watch is, I'm interested in different denominations and in different religions and different aspects of spirituality. Like I want to know a little bit of all of them, right? I want to learn about them and I want to see because I always think that each denomination got a little bit of peace, like got a little bit of the magic, right? So it's just a matter of going through all of them, right? And studying them, right? Because you never know, like these people might be your best friends at some point too, right? You never know who you're going to bump into. And wouldn't it be nice if you knew because religions are quite often tied up with culture too, right? So you know how to be respectful to them, right? Some things are very common in some places and in other places you look at them like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding? My dad, oh, this is a good one. You like this one. um, a father and a son is a Caucasian father and son walking down at the end of the block and they're walking towards this way, right? Little boy and his dad, right? And then on the other end of the block, walking towards them, right, was another father and a little boy, a Chinese father and son, right? And the little boys are the same, right? And as they're walking by, the I don't know, it's got hankies in it, so I guess it's for the times, but the one father the Chinese father, he horks, he blows his nose, and he goes like this, and he whips it onto the sidewalk, right? You know, and he's rid of it, right? And 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 the little boy on the other side says, "Oh, Daddy, did you see that?" And he says, "Oh yeah, ooh, like that, right? You know." And then the little Chinese boy and the dad was walking by the Caucasian, and the dad pulls out his hanky and he blows into his hanky, and then he puts it in his pocket, and then the little Chinese boy, he looks up at his dad, he goes, "Daddy, Daddy, look at that, did you see it? He blowed his nose and he saved the snot." Because it's the way cultures are, that you look at things differently, right? Neither one is right or wrong. I guess for now, you wouldn't want to be spitting on the sidewalks now, right? But if there's no like serious colds and stuff going on, it's not such a big deal. But it's just a matter of culture, how things are different. So I look at it like that way, right? Because you want to be respectful, right? I'm one of those people, like, I don't have a prejudiced bone in my body, right? And I constantly say, it takes all kinds to make the world, right? And if I'm going to do that, then I have to be respectful, right? Well, I don't have to, but it's respectful to be respectful. It's thoughtful to be respectful, right? So that's why I like to study all these different religions and different aspects of spirituality, and yeah, and some stuff I resonate with, and I pick it up, for a little bit of Hindu, and a little bit of Pakistani, a little bit of the Sikh, a little bit of this, Babla. Oh, I can't say it, and that's why, because if I can't understand it, right? How can I resonate with it, right? So I guess that one, Bahala, right? The Bahala, yeah. Oh, and I miss sitting there and talking to them, like, yeah, like this one guy Dave, he was like so smart, and like, when you talked, you could just tell that he was listening, and he was absorbing what you were talking about. Lots of times I talk off. People just don't even listen at all, right? And others pay great attention, but some people, they just don't give you the time of day. And so when I can actually bump into somebody, and you can sit down and actually have a nice conversations, right? you know and I like it when people surprise me, when you think somebody's a certain way, right? Because you've over analyzed, right? You've over tried to figure out, and you've delved too deep, and you picked at the teeniest things, and you come up with totally the wrong conclusion, and then you bump into them, and you go, "Holy cow, wow, you surprised me!" Like, ah, and then you have it totally wrong, right? And I've met some amazing people in my lifetime that way, right? You know, yeah. You can't judge, and that's a safety thing, right? That's something I do. Well, I call it ascertaining. I'm trying to fix the. Oh, look at this! Andrew's here. Yay! I almost thought that I was on. I thought I was almost on Instagram there with my lives. And I was all got all excited that Andrew was with me on Instagram. I've been trying to get Andrew to Instagram for ages. How are you doing tonight, Andrew? Are you doing good tonight? Here, let me go into my channel here, because I get the comments like 30 seconds before on my monitor, than before I get it on the phone. So I just want to go to and I'm just gonna turn the volume off here. Yeah, so I was just watching my one of my metal detecting shows. Oh, and Kathy's here too. Yay. I wish I had the wave button on this one, right? Yeah. But you know what I like about the YouTube is I like the format. I like the format on the YouTube, right? I don't like that the vertical filming with vertical. It's to be consistent all across your platforms. I sure would like to be able to use my footage for everything, right? Oh, congratulations, Andrew. I know that stressed you out lots. I know that stressed you off lots. Blow on your knuckles. Right, Andrew? Right? Right? Here, let me go into my live here so I can see the comments, right? Congratulations. Good job. Good job, Andrew. Good job. That's amazing. Yeah, yeah, I know that was stressing you out. You've been doing a lot of that extra work, and then when you're helping with your brother and stuff. Now, what's going on? What's going on with your work now, Andrew? What's going on with your work? Yeah, absolutely, just absolutely terrific. But yeah. Oh, perfect, perfect, perfect. I haven't been into my, oh yes, I did go into, oh, did I get a nice compliment today? I got, actually, not only did I get a compliment, give me 1 second here. This is a lady, she's been working with me. She's one of my workers, right? And she's just an absolute sweetheart. And she's been helping me lots, right? And she understands like the kind of stuff that I'm going through and stuff like that. So she's been, a great gift to me. Great gift to me in the past few weeks. So she sent me this email today that one of her friends sent to her, and it was a bunch of tips, right? And she sent me the list, and one of the things was this one here. I don't know if it's reverse or if you can see it. It's the one thing I love about YouTube, right? There's the mirror image, right? So when you put something up, you can actually read it. So she sent me this note that her friend sent to her, and he said, like, get a binder, and then to and then to and then to put all the compliments, start collecting compliments when people give you so Kathy, you're going to end up in here. You're going to end up in one of my books here. She says, when people give you nice compliments, like take note of them, right? So I got my little binder, one of my little school binders, right? And then I emailed her back, and I thanked her very, very much, right? I thanked her so much for sending this to me. And um I wrote here, Jennifer Weeb was the lady who suggested this book for me, so it seems only fitting hers is the first compliment. I was on a task she set out for me in trying to overcome my fear of the ask. Remember those posts? Remember those posts I did last week? 10 posts. See, I didn't mention part 10 because I don't believe in the number 10. 10 doesn't really mean anything, right? So but I did 10 posts, and I did like three or four little videos. That's how long it took me to tell this story, right? But it was that lady who, Jennifer, she was the lady that set me to the task to do this, right? She's my worker at this job placement, program that I'm in it in OFE is the program that I'm in, right? And and she says, and what she did is, I was on a task she set out for me in trying to overcome my fear of the ask. Okay. I'm afraid of asking for myself, right? I'm not afraid of asking. I can ask for other people. I can ask if I think my rights are being violated. I can ask if I've been wronged in any way, right? Or if somebody else has been in wrong. That's not a problem, right? Like, I can ask for that. But if it's for things that will benefit me in any way, like if it will benefit me in any way, I have a really, really hard time with the ask. But I've gotten better. Like, I've gotten lots better, right? It's coming. It's coming. but but and it turned out to be a 10-part series on my Instagram, plus numerous videos. Uh, and then I wrote, this is Jennifer's compliment. And she emailed me this. I really enjoyed reading about your journey. There were many parts. You took the assignment very seriously, and you made something beautiful happen with it. That is something you should be proud of. Wasn't that nice of her? Wasn't that beautiful that she did that for me? Yeah. I thought that was a beautiful, and what a fitting compliment for my first. So this is the first page of the compliment. So I look forward to writing something about you, Kathy. Wouldn't that be nice if you were on page number 2? I might have to go back. You've given me some amazing. I really loved your last one, right? Because my the one on the Ukrainian, like I really loved that little comment because that's how I felt about that post when I did that post, right? You know, like I was blending in all my interests, my interest in the history, the interest in the urban exploring and the abundance, my interest in mindset, and then my interest in helping other people with little emotional issues and stuff and little limiting beliefs that they have, right? It just had everything to it. And then when you gave me that compliment, it made me feel good because to me, I thought that was a perfect post, right? I thought the picture was perfect. I thought what I said was perfect. I stuck to the truth and I added the feeling. Like I thought for me, that was a perfect post. But then again, I don't make those posts for me, right? I make those posts for anybody out there that might be able to read the lines underneath. Like I'm telling a story, but I'm telling a story underneath the story. And there's always a moral to the story. And I always think there's a little bit of magic. Otherwise, I wouldn't stay up till midnight every single night. It's like somebody's teasing me there, saying, like Cindy, come on, you can't have magic every day, and I can't go to bed until I get a little bit. Yeah, so if you believe in that stuff, right? Like if you resonate with that stuff, like I think there's stuff always, because half the time I don't even half the time I don't even know what I talk. I'm just here, I'm just here, and yeah, whatever comes out, and if it comes out, it comes out for a reason, right? and and if I say something stupid, blame it on him. don't blame it on him. I've gotten as far as I have because of Evan Carmichael. This is Evan Carmichael's book if you're interested in who I learned from, right? So I'm always trying to pump the book, right? Because it's the times, right? We're in those times. This is the perfect book for the day and age that we are in right now, right? We're going to go into some sad times, right? We're going to be having to support our friends and stuff. So right now should be our time to try and build up that energy, relax a little bit if you can relax. Like lots of people are drivers, right? The drivers, you can't stop them. They're going to give it no matter what, right? So if you can help alleviate some of that extra work that they have on them and just support them a little bit, so take that load off. Hey, terrific, right? But otherwise, yeah, just try and ride this out. Stay in your house. If you stay in your house, you'll be fine, right? You'll be fine. They are working so hard here in Canada. They are throwing so much money at that virus, right? They're throwing, the whole world is like everybody is coming together, doing their very best to figure this out, right? To figure this out, right? You know, when it starts to hit close to home, right? You'll just see everybody just kick into high gear and pay attention, right? Pay attention. Yeah, I saw somebody go to somebody's door as visitors and just walked right in today. I didn't say anything. It was their own property and everything, but I just shook my head like I know it's Easter, right? Like I know Easter here, but yeah, it's not a time to be outside, right? It's time to listen to the prime minister. It's time to listen to just pray that it's not too late, right? It's not too late. Sit in your house 14 days, 14 days. Just stay in your house. Let's just get over this worst of it, right? You know, right? Because China, it was they just overjumped it, and now they're getting another wave. I heard, right? I could be wrong. I haven't been into my channel today, so I don't want to say anything like fact. I haven't actually checked the numbers. How about if we just quickly check those? I know we have some cases here that are probably probable cases, right? So our numbers went up. Ooh, yeah, went up by over 10. So we have 10 more probable cases here. Yeah, but it looks like oh, yeah, the numbers are still going. We were plateauing, right? We were plateauing. It still looks kind of like we are a little bit, but yeah, it's still going. We have 361,000 cases here. Oh no, we don't. That's how many people got tested, right? But they've completed all those tests, and they had 20,000 people in those tests that had it. So that means 341,000 people took the test. They were negative, right? So they went through all that process for nothing. Now, how close to contamination did they actually get in order to get that test, right? You know, did they come into contact somebody else that was standing line in those 20,000 positives? Were they standing behind somebody that was hacking away, and they didn't have the cold, and now they have the cold because they were standing in line? Yeah. If I get this flu, I'm going through the drive-through. No question. I'm going through the drive-through. I cleaned my big picture window today. It looks so good. I can't wait. I can't wait to show you guys what my tunnel looks like, my elm trees look like, when the leaves come out. It'll only be a few weeks now. Yeah, couple of weeks, the buds will be out, and maybe another week or two after that, then the trees will be starting to leaf up, and I'll look out there, and I'll just see a great big tunnel of green, and I'll be looking right down my street, straight down the tunnel. It's absolutely, absolutely beautiful. Yeah. And then it comes green worms season, right? The green worms hang from the elm trees. They eat all the leaves. I don't like it. Sometimes they eat all the leaves, and sometimes we're lucky and they don't get a hold of my tree, right? I like to see, but I don't mind if they eat a little bit of the leaves, because then I can see what's going on down the street and stuff too, if they take some of that foliage away, right? But it's kind of nice when everything is all nice and green and full. But yeah, green worm season is fun too, right? Until I go outside and I start trying to save them. I do. Yeah. I don't step on bugs. I don't swat mosquito. Oh, yeah, I do swat mosquitoes. I do swat mosquitoes. But I don't get eaten by a lot of mosquitoes. Like, bugs don't like me, right? Normally bugs don't like me, but yeah, I do swat mosquitoes, and I think I will continue swatting mosquitoes. It's just instinct, right? We don't like things to be, and it's the same with the ticks. Yeah, I destroy ticks too. I destroy ticks. I destroy ticks. I never gave it any thought before. Is there anything else that I do? Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just the ticks then, the ticks and the yeah, ticks and mosquitoes are the only things that I'll kill, right? Even when I find bugs in my house and stuff, like I'll let them crawl onto a piece of paper, and then, oh, did you see? Here, well, I'll just clean a little space here so everybody can see my cat. Oh, and I found an adapter. I found an adapter for my Yeti, for my microphone, so I can actually use it with my phone, because I need one that will go from C to USB, and if I can do that, then I can. Oh, yes. Yes, then I can plug my USB into the USB adapter and then plug it into the C on my phone. So I'm pretty excited, and I checked the price. They're only $40. So if I get an extra $40 somewhere along the line, I've got to buy my doggy basket today. I have to. I said today. Today was the deadline, the 8th. Today's the 8th. So before I go to bed, I have to get that ordered, right? So because I said I was gonna have her basket by today. I also said I was gonna have her on the road, right? But I didn't think I said I would have her outside. So when it gets dark tonight, when the building goes to sleep, so she's not so scared, I'm gonna carry her downstairs outside. And then I truly kept to my word by saying that I was going to take her outside by the 8th. I am so smart. I'm just going to hack it. Okay, give me a second. I'm just going to bend down and grab my cat. Come here. I know. We're going to just. Okay, well, I'm not going to throw it on the floor here. She likes to chase them. She likes me to chase them, right? She wants to chase them. You want this? But I want her to come up on. Oopsie. I want her to come up onto the desk. I'm sorry, everybody. I didn't mean to do that. Here. I know. I know you're there. Here. Oh. Okay. Everybody, this is this is my cat Perfect. As you can see, she doesn't have an ear. Her ear fell off, right? But see how she doesn't push me away or anything now, right? But she smells her friskies and she's still not pushing me away. Hey, you're still not pushing me away? Here, you can have your you can have your treats. And she while we're yapping, right? While we're yapping. Don't walk in front of me. Silly cat. Here, let me put him over here. Here. There you go. There you go. Yeah. But look at her tail. Look at that. Have you ever seen anything so cute? Like she doesn't have a tail, right? It froze, right? It froze and it snapped off, right? It snapped off in the wintertime. Like, can you imagine? Can you imagine my cat, sitting in a shed, freezing outside, and you can't even see her eyes, you guys. Like it's freaky sometimes when because I've always had cats with bright eyes, right? I've always had tabbies and stuff like that, right? But she can lay on the couch and I don't know whether she's asleep or she's awake because her eyes are the same color as her coat, right? So I don't I you can't tell if she's looking at you or anything, right? Did you want another one? I know I feed her too many of those, but I can't help it. I just I love my cat. I love my cat. It was just like perfect timing to have a cat, right? She makes me so happy, right? Especially with this virus, this coronavirus going on. Like I could be in here, but oh well, I would entertain myself with videos. I would. But she adds the extra happy, right? She adds the extra happy. But wasn't that a good idea? Now, could anybody else do that? Andrew? Andrew, this would be a good one for you, right? A book. And if your boss gave you a compliment, or somebody on the bus gave you a compliment, or I gave you a compliment, or somebody in the comments gave you a compliment, right? And how great is that to look back? Because I put the date in there, a little bit of the story, why I was writing the compliment into my binder, right? And then I actually wrote the comment given to me, right? Word for word. So yeah, it's going to be a nice little thing to have. This might. I was gonna say it'll only last a week or so. No, it won't be that. It'll be for good, like special comments, like not all comments, but like special comments or comments from special people in my life, right? Yeah, so I thought that was an amazing, but she had lots of them. Like she gave me a whole bunch of them here. I could just even actually just go into her email here and I'll read you a couple of them, right? Yeah, and then I sent her a picture showing me with my book, right? Because I had this, right? It says I believe, right? So that I believe in compliments, right? And it's all compliments. This is from the Manitoba Human Rights Museum, right? And what they do is they have a room that's just dedicated to these cards. And then when you come in, you can write, right, on the card, and then they post it to the wall. And then all the visitors from all over the world that come to this museum, like if you ever come to Canada, like so you got to somehow make it to Winnipeg, right? Because the Human Rights Museum, it's huge. It will take you hours to go through. Oh, can I please even tell you? They are absolutely amazing, amazing. They are doing a free virtual tour there, and I think it might even be tonight. Double check. Manitoba Human Rights Museum, Google it. The ladies, the guides, they are doing free tours. They've done two of them already. So if they're not doing it tonight, they're not doing it tonight, then they'll do it, sometime, this month again, I'm sure, right? Because they can't have any visitors there. But it's the only one in the world, right? They have the exhibits for the Holocaust, exhibits for human for the women's liberations, for the residential schools, for oh my gosh, so many, the Chinese immigrants, from Ukrainian immigrants, from oh my gosh, the Inuit, the oh so I could go on. CN Rail, CN Rail, Pacific Rail. Oh, there's just so many, like from all over the world too, like in Uganda, and like anything. They had a Mandela exhibit with actual artifacts, right? Like tons of artifacts, right? And there's like 7 levels, and each one is representative of an element, right? Of an element, starting with like the middle of the earth, and then coming up to the ocean, and then up into the sky, right? So, and it's the most beautiful building. That it was so expensive. You'll never see a building like this, right? They hired some amazing architects for this building, and they put it in a really spectacular spot. So if you get an opportunity, right, after you're done with me, punch in Canadian Human Rights, or you can punch in at CMHR, right? CMHR, and do the virtual tour. Do the virtual tour with the ladies, right? It will be amazing experience. I went twice. Actually, Sharon, when she came to Winnipeg, me and her went, and yeah, she was totally impressed. Yeah, I think that's what blew up her computer, is her downloading all those photos from those exhibits, right? So yeah, that was a little tip there. But yeah, I thought it was really nice that she sent me this one. But here's a few of those other tips, right? So start a compliments file, document the great things people say about you to read later, right? It will help you make you feel better, right? When you have those days when you're feeling like, like even me, like all the time, sometimes I feel really bad that I'm not good enough, and I'm not accomplishing enough, and I'm not accomplishing fast enough, and I'm not absorbing what I'm supposed to be absorbing, or if I'm making a mistake altogether, right? So I have to trust myself, right? So I'm just running totally on intuition, right? So scratch off the lurker on your to-do list, something that's been there for ages that you'll never do. You know? So I'm not sure on that one. Are they saying like get rid of it altogether, or are they saying to do it? Because either way, it would be beneficial. If you don't get it done, right? If you're not going to do it, if you're not going to do it, get rid of it off your list altogether, right? Because it's only going to make you feel bad when you see it all the time, and you're not doing it. It was like me mentioning I was going to do my picture window 2 days ago, and I just got the window done today, and I could have done it yesterday. I could have done it yesterday, right? But I didn't. And instead, what happens? I couldn't go out and make a little short video clips or anything of that beautiful snowstorm I had, because, I did it today and wasted up all the power on my phone doing that little clip for that one, right? Instead of doing the beautiful little snowstorm I was having as I was going for my walk, which would have been lovely because I'm sure everybody's ready for a little bit outside, right? And because I had to come home and charge my phone, right? I couldn't take the phone with me when I went for the walk because I had my live to do on YouTube tonight, and I was out, right? Because of my live this afternoon and the video clips that I was doing. So I had to recharge it. It'll be good when I get my new phone. When I get my new phone, right? When I get my new phone, then I'll have this as a backup phone, right? I'll just use this phone too as a backup phone. But for now, you make do with what you have, right? You make do with what you have. Okay, so change up the way you make decisions, she said. Decide something with your heart if you usually use your head, or if you tend to go with the heart, decide with your head. Oh. Yeah, so I do a little bit of both. I do. I go with my heart, but it usually starts with my head, right? It usually starts with my head, and then when something gets into my head and I think and think and think, and I'm going, okay, stop it, Cindy. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about it? And then I go with how I feel about it, makes my decision whether or not to continue on thinking about it, or to actually put action into it, or to just get rid of it altogether, right? Go cloud watching, lie on your back, relax, and watch the sky, right? That's a good one. That's a good one. Take another route to work. Mixing up your routine in small ways creates neutral pathways in the brain to keep it healthy. Hey? Yeah, I do that all the time. Even today when I was walking home from my coffee, I zigzagged up and down the back lanes because I like to look in people's backyards. I like to see how they do their backyards up with little gardens, or what kind of cars they have, or what they do with their patios. I don't know. It's curious. It's nice. It's a nice change when you're walking. Plus I want to make the walk a little bit longer. I didn't want to and just go for a coffee and come home. So I decided to come home by walking down the back lane and then coming up the next street up the back lane. And then I just zigzagged back and forth until I got to my back lane. And then I just walked down my back lane, right? And I enjoyed it. I'll do that more often. But yeah, switching up the route when you go for work, right? Or when you go for your walks. Uh, pay Pay complete attention to something you usually do on autopilot. Like me in my window. I did it fast, right? Because I wanted to do it in the span of my song. That's one of my favorites, right? That's my native prayer song that I did on my Instagram today. What did you think of that tune, Kathy? I'd be interested to know what kind of music do you like, right? Yeah, I would be interested to know what kind of music you like. But yeah, that's native prayer. That where I clean the windows too. It's one of my favorites. It's an actual prayer, and I can actually get right into it. And I actually know how to say it in the indigenous language, right? And I don't know what language I'm speaking. Cree. It might be Cree. It might be Cree, right? But yeah, it's one of my favorites. Um, Create a deliberate habit and routinize something small in your life. I do that all the time. Pick up a little habit and then I make it a routine. But I make it a habit. I make it a habit only for a short while, and then I switch it up with a new habit. Right? Declutter. I declutter all the time. Unplug for an hour. That would be my walks. When I go for my walks, I totally unplug. I don't think, I don't do anything. I just enjoy the air, look in the windows, look at the ground, look at the trees. Yeah. And then I get out of my comfort zone all the time. All the time, right? All the time. Yeah. So she had some tiny self-care ideas, but maybe I'll share those for the body, right? And I'll share those ones on Sunday when we go live, right? Yeah, she wrote here, edit your social media feeds and take out any negative people, right? Yeah, people. I don't get a lot of mean people every once in a while, right? In the explores and stuff, understandably that I do, but I haven't gotten many yet. And I know my age, people tend not to batter on the old people. So there are benefits to be a little bit more mature, right? Because, I can get my message across without somebody saying something mean, right? They can think it, but if their parents brought them up properly, they would know better than to say something mean, right? Yeah. But yeah, so those were the ones that she had. Now I'm just gonna quickly look in here. I'm already getting notifications from my from my phone saying that my battery's going down, but I think it's just giving me a little bit of a warning. But if it ends in mid sentence, it ends in mid sentence, right? So let's just go back in here, and I just want to take a look at the comments and see what everybody's been yapping about, because they haven't been coming up on this screen here, right? So, oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, I'll check my mail, see if I get your email there. Is there? Yeah, they say it 2%, right? 2%, but right now it looks closer to 3% to me, right? When I'm looking at it, but you can't tell because when you get this illness and when you end up in the hospital, it from the length of time you end up in the hospital till you actually pass away or you go on the respirator, like it's actually weeks sometimes. It's a very long struggle, this one. It's a long, long cold. It's not something you have for a few days unless you're really, really really ill, right? So it's something that goes on for a long time. That's why the president says, like, we're going to notice the deaths now. The numbers are going to go up now, right? You're going to hear about it, right? So you prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. Like I said, nobody is getting enough sun. Nobody is getting enough sun. Start taking your D3, everybody. Everybody, D3. D3. This is going to help to keep you calm, right? It's going to help because it's spring now and you've got your windows open at the very least because you can't go outside, right? So for pollen and stuff, it's going to help when you get some inflammation and stuff. D3 will help you to control the inflammation in your body, right? Very, very, very important. Everybody, most people, like 50% of people are deficient in D3 on a good day, even when they're getting outside in the summer, right? They're not getting enough, right? So it's important to supplement because most people, when they go for their blood tests, they don't have that checked, right? They don't have that checked. And then I do the performance ones. I do the ones what the sports guys do, right? The heavy duty vitamins. They're no more extra money when you do this one. Like when you get your choice of vitamins, you can get the 55 plus, you can get the arthritis ones that are good for the arthritis, right? But but these performance ones, these are the high dosage, the high numbers, right? So, and it doesn't cost any more to get a good brand, right? A good performance brand than it is to get your just regular daily. So make sure you do it. So the B12s, super, super, super important right now during this virus time, right? Because this is what's going to help you with your red blood cell count, right? Is your B12. This is also going to help you out emotionally, right? This is gonna, if you find that you're having maybe some crying spells, or you find yourself you're really, really starting to get stressed, right? Or you're getting angry because you can't get outside, or you're becoming short tempered with your family, or your kids are getting on your nerves, right? Instead of going for a Tylenol, those coatings aren't good for you, right? So instead of going for those Tylenols, you know, why don't you go and get your B12s? Now the B12s are a little bit acidic too, right? They're a little bit of acidic too, but so good for you, right? So good for you. And especially if you don't eat a lot of meat, if you don't get enough meat into you, right? If you don't get enough meat into you, B12s are terrific. Now, if you find that you're really, really deficient, right? If you think you don't get enough sun, you don't eat enough dairy product, because D3 is something that they add into stuff, right? They add it into stuff. They'll add it into your bread, they'll add it into your milk, right? So uh what was I going to say about, oh, if you, the B12s, right? Let's talk about the B12s. What you can do is you can go to the pharmacist, You can't get it on the counter, but if you ask the pharmacist, he'll give it to you from behind the counter, and you don't need a prescription. You can get the iron, right? The Palifer it's called, right? The pure iron, right? It'll make your poop black. And that's how you know that it's working. That's how you know that that's working. And you can't do it for very long, no more than 2 weeks. You can't do more than 2 weeks of iron, right? Because it's really hard, and it's acidic, and the liver, right? Because what you're doing is you're building your red blood cells up. So what you're doing is you're trying to make yourself strong, right? So that if you do get the cold, if you do get this flu, you have a fighting chance, right? Your body is healthy enough that it can deal with it, maybe, right? So I'm not a doctor, don't take me as advice, but I think it's better be safe than sorry. And I take no medication at all. I don't take any medication, but I take a lot of vitamins. I do take a lot of vitamins. But you know what? I've never had a headache in my entire life. I've never had a bleeding nose. I don't suffer aches and pains, right? Except for the occasional one when I hurt myself, right? But yeah, and I attribute lots of it because I was big girl, right? I've had lots of protection around my bones, and I built up really dense bones, right? But at the same time, I have dense bones that would have taken a lot of magnesium. Oh, magnesium. I can't forget the magnesium. Good for you, Andrew. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, because even on my vitamins, I would prefer, like, if I could do like my B12s. I know I can get these in little, like, cod liver type capsules, little teeny capsules, right? So I could take those, and I don't mind those, right? But the coatings on the pills, uh, my mom's stomach was just trashed by all, because she had to take medicine her whole life, because she had like 12 different types of rheumatoid arthritis, right? My mother's hands were clenched and locked. By the time she was 40, her hands were locked, and she would, when she went to get a cup of coffee, this is how she drank her coffee, right? And then just about a year before my mother passed away, well, they replaced both her knees, right? And she was able to do mole walks, and the pain in her back went away, because she thought the arthritis was in her back too, right? But the pain in her back was only because of her legs and her feet, right? Yeah. So once she had her knees fixed, yeah, she was doing mall walks, and she hadn't been in the house out of the house except to see a doctor once a year in over 10 years. In over 10 years, right? She was housebound. She could only go from her bed to the bathroom to the chair in the living room, and she did that for 10 years, and once a year she went out to the doctor, right? After she had those her knees replaced, within 6 weeks, the pain was absolutely gone. She absolutely just raved about it. She was mall walking within 6 weeks of being home. Hi, Owen. Hi, Owen. And she was mall walking within 6 weeks of being home. But a year later, about a year after that, they put her on a trial for a new drug, right? They put her on a trial for a new arthritis drug, and the pain in her hands went away, right? The pain in her hands went away right away from this drug that she had. And then as the pain went away, and everything was locked, like calcium locked, not opened in years and years and years. And I swear to God, this drug, her hands opened up. Her hands opened up from this drug. Like, didn't open up fully, right? She wasn't like all this, but we'd come over and she'd go, "Look at me." And she'd do this with her fingers, opening up her fingers opened up from a clenched fist that we couldn't even pry open if we wanted to. We couldn't even pry her hands open, right? For her to be opening up her fingers. That's how our medical systems work, like that, right? So miracles, like have always trusted doctors. I always have trusted doctors, right? And I don't see a lot of doctors, but I put my trust in them, right? And it worked for me, when I had my gastric bypass. That was horrid. I was in the hospital for 3 weeks with that. And then I had a tubal pregnancy, in my late 30s, and I was in the hospital. I almost died from that one too. Yeah, I was in the hospital for a few weeks. I should have stayed there more, but I was in the hospital for a few weeks. I just couldn't take it anymore. I had to go home. Yeah, and I took myself off my own medication, painkillers and everything, like almost the next day. Not for the gastric. Gastric was crazy, crazy. I never experienced anything like that, and I hope I never do ever again. But it was worth it, right? It was worth it. It saved my life, right? I was 311 pounds. I would have gotten diabetes, right? This operation I had actually is an operation that they do in Europe to cure people from diabetes, right? There's, I don't know if people know that there's actually a cure for diabetes. It's called a duodenum switch, right? It's called a duodenum switch. But they don't do it here in North America because, again, remember what I was talking about the malabsorption? Yeah, so they don't do that operation here because you're substituting one evil for another, right? So they think if they do that switch because of the malabsorption, it causes a lot of problems. It causes a lot of problems. So they won't do that operation here, but it's quite common. But it instantly, right? It instantly cures you of diabetes. Yeah, instantly. You're done. If you have needles, whatever it is, you're done with diabetes. Like a miracle. Like people die of diabetes, right? So I say, if you stress on them, you stress on them. Your life depends on you taking these vitamins. If we give you this operation, your life depends on you taking daily vitamins every single day, no matter what. And then my battery's going to die. It keeps reminding me. And then, and then let the patient decide, right? My sister, she hates doctors. She hates doctors, but I would talk her into it. I would talk her into going to Europe even to have the operation done, right?